Hello! I'm back. Good to see you again. Sorry about the delay in posting. Work's been tough, but here I am. Today I want to talk about career development and why you should always strive to get better at your job. So, first of all, my assumption is that whoever's watching this video has decided what they want to do as a career and they're kind of locked in that path. Besides the side hustles and trying to kind of exit the rat race, not all of us are going to be millionaires, unfortunately. So we have to do the best with what we got. Career development is important because employers look at their employees and they see who has the long-term potential to, rise through the company and eventually lead people and teach people. It doesn't necessarily have to lead to a management position. You could be more of a technical lead if you're doing technical work. But I mean, for the most part, you will want to go to a management position if you're really trying to climb the ranks, right? Because what is at the top? It's managers. So, how do we progress in our career? First of all, you want to put your best foot forward and show people that you care about your job and show people that you're willing to do what it takes. Now, once people see that, especially managers, hopefully they'll start to like you and they'll appreciate the effort you're putting forth. And if you feel like that doesn't happen, maybe you've got a shitty manager, or maybe you just haven't been doing it long enough. Consistency is key. It takes years. It takes minimum 2 years to show you're in it for the long haul, right? And this is granted. This is assuming that you found a good company with the potential to move up. Anyways. How do you develop yourself professionally? Well, there's lots of avenues, certifications, extra education, in terms of construction, let's say lead certification, technologist certifications, continued learning, going to conventions of whatever kind of technical thing you're working with. Lunch and learns. There was a time at my old job where we really didn't have any work, and so instead of goofing off, I actually started going online and learning how to use AutoCAD, Civil 3D specifically. I could have just sat there on my phone and wasted my time, but instead I decided to learn. And what that got me is out of the field and more in the office. Now I'm primarily doing design work because I took the time to learn. And maybe you don't have the opportunity to learn on the job like I did. I had a full month pretty much where it was like very piecemeal work. So I got fortunate there. I wasn't getting paid anything, but besides the point. You can do this outside of work hours. You can spend an hour or two after work just researching, going through tutorial videos. And then you go to your boss and you say, hey, I've been doing this on my own time, and I think I'm ready to handle some responsibilities if you're willing to trust me with them. And most of the time, they're going to say yes, especially if you've proven yourself to be a capable worker in your role. The other thing that's important for career development, or I should say why it's important to develop yourself professionally, is AI. It's coming. And if your industry hasn't been impacted yet by AI, believe me, it will be. And who's going to be the first to get cut? It'll be the people with no skills, or it'll be the people who have one useful skill but that is easily replicated on a computer. So you want to have multiple skills. You want to have leadership ability. You want to be able to teach somebody. Because once automation hits your industry, they're going to need at least reviewers to review AI's work. And you're going to position yourself properly by developing lots of skills so that you are able to see the big picture and also are detail oriented to review work and make sure it's correct. And maybe I'm a little bit biased because I'm coming at this from a construction consulting point of view. That's my career. But, you know, this is important in my opinion. It's very important to develop yourself. And the third thing, why you should develop yourself professionally, is it's fun. You know, you don't want to be stagnant and do the same work for a decade. You know, what's the fun in that? You're just gonna hate your life. If you develop yourself professionally, you get new, interesting work. You get new projects that you've never tackled before. And you get to, you know, spin those cogs in your brain, figure it out, and learn. And then you look back on your career in 5 years and you say, wow, I'm a completely different person. And that's fun. You know, that feels good. And I feel like that's something everybody should strive for. And the caveat is, majority of people are not going to strive for that. Majority of people are going to be comfortable and bored, just going to clock in and clock out and go home. So if you take the time and put in the effort into becoming a better, not only worker, but also leader, the leadership really comes from being confident in your own abilities, because then you can really teach somebody the tips and tricks, you know, how to do things properly and efficiently. And when somebody sees that, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about, they're going to respect you and they're going to listen to you. So it's just a natural progression into being a leader. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time. I love it. You know, every time I conquer a milestone, I feel so great. And if you put in that effort and if you put in that time, you're going to be ahead of 90% of people. You're going to have no problem finding a job, first of all, or keeping a job, getting raises. You know, this is something I've learned not only through my own experience, but looking at people around me, you know, who is stagnating and who is continuing to push forward. You know, the defining factor is, are they putting in the work? Are they sacrificing time in order to get better? So yeah, I think that's my thought for today. I wanted to make this video yesterday, but then I did deadlifts and I was just dead. So sorry about the long posts. Yeah, those yap videos, I kind of made some, but it just doesn't sit right with me, you know. I want to say something that I feel like has value, and say something that will maybe help somebody. Maybe, you know, primarily, maybe those guys that need some direction, you know, because it's always easier to have some direction given to you rather than figuring it out on your own, which is what I've had to do for a majority of my career. But here we are, you know, we're learning, we're getting through it, and I hope you guys enjoy these videos and maybe get something valuable from them. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'm off to the gym. Take care.